you. Welcome back. Today I just brought this book here. I bought it lately because so many people wrote me in the comments that I should read for them. So here we are. I'm so excited. I hope you will like that. The name of this book is Bedtime Stories for Adults. It's from Amy Parker, and it comes with lots of short stories, and they look pretty interesting. I'm really excited if you will like that. So, at first, I want you to get comfortable. Just lie back. You can close your eyes if you want to. And just listen to my voice and book sounds. With this reading, I want to help you to fall asleep easier, to let go all your thoughts. Meditating on a rose. Once a time, a woman was sitting down under a tree in her English country garden, beginning to meditate and drift inside her mind. In front of her, she focused on a rose that just beginning to form. She allows her attention to settle on that rose, to pay only on the bud of it. She relaxes there under the tree with legs crossed, breathing in and breathing out deeply in comfort and relaxation. She was breathing in through her throat, chest, and into her stomach, leaving out any stress or tension. In contrast, she focuses on that rose, and her tension narrows. She's aware of the sounds of country birds in the background. She's mindful of the color to the sky, the look of the clouds as they pass overhead the sun, the movement of grass or leaves and plants, the rustling of the leaves above her head. The sun shines through those leaves, aware of the smells in the garden, the sight of insects, of bees flying into flowers, and she gazes at that rose allowing her attention to settle here. Everything else begins to fade into the background. She's getting tunnel vision, like all of her attention is on the rose. So time begins to change. While time around her ticks by, everything around her appears like it's speeding up. She is the anchor point, like she is the timeless, stationary part of the experience, observing time passing around her. She sees the stalk of the rose slowly extending. She understands that the body of the rose is gradually growing, getting more significant. She sees night become day, and day becomes night. The sun passes across the sky. The stars and the moon move across the air. And as she watches the rose, she notices the petals growing larger before they begin to open up. They are opening beautifully, and in her mind she has a sense of what it would be like to touch a petal gently between her thumb and forefinger, that smooth and waxy feel of a rose petal. She allows her attention to fall so much on the rose. She focuses just on the smell given off by it. As the particles from that rose reach her nose, she allows that to observe her attention even deeper into this meditative state as she continues to drift, dream, and meditate in this way. She just connects with that rose, so she begins to drift inside her mind to see some unusual writing scrolling down her vision, like in her mind's eye. She's starting to understand writing, and it looks like it's in some action language, just scrolling past her vision and surrounding her, almost like it's overlaying the reality that she's in, as drifts even deeper into this meditation. In contrast, she drifts even deeper into this meditation. The writing becomes more explicit, and she has an intuitive sense of understanding that writing. Even though she consciously feels like she's never seen it before, and her focus leaves the rose and begins to transfer to the paper, the garden starts to fade away, and she begins to just see the writing scrolling down around her. She feels a sense of peace, of calm, of connection to inner wisdom, to something greater than herself. Like somehow this writing is a sign of a link to some universal knowledge, perhaps a universal library. She watches how the script continues to fall around her, and then the last of the essay falls. It's almost like when a curtain drops to the ground. She's gazing out over an environment she's never seen before. She's gazing out over a desert. She can see pyramids in the distance, a beautiful blue sky in golden sand, feeling the warmth of the sun. She looks around and sees behind her the Volkswagen Campervan. She goes to that van to open the side door. She climbs in, and that van has a particular smell with an absolute authenticity and individual touch. She climbs forward to the front seat, places her hands on the steering wheel, aware of the size of this steering wheel. How much more significant it is to other steering wheels of other vehicles that she's been in, and she pulls the handle out, pushes it back in, and starts the van, feeling it vibrating. The engine is starting, and she begins driving across the desert, following a dusty road. There is barely a road at all, and she follows that, heading toward the pyramids. She's unsure where it is, what she's searching for, but knowing that she's trusting herself to find her way through this uncontrollably experience. She's aware that in reality she's probably still sitting under that tree, gazing at that rose. Her mind has wandered and drifted, dreamed inside more, profound and deeper, to some place so deep. It makes this feel real to her, giving her some insight into some experience. She can feel the breeze coming into the windows as she drives that Volkswagen van towards those pyramids. She's surprised As she gets closer to those pyramids, she arrives at the foot of them, but there's something different about their shape, their size, and the entrance. She enters that pyramid and begins to explore. She walks to the dump and into the grave. Her footsteps change from the sound of the soft sand beneath her feet to the sound of echoing stone. The light reflects around the walls of the chamber and the corridor. The woman is entering, working more profoundly and more in depth into the pyramid. She notices how the temperature changes inside the tomb and continues working into the chamber. The deeper she works, the more it seems to open up to the point where he George can't see across to the other side. She's aware of the chamber size. By the way, the echo reflects of the walls. It seems to have a slight delay back to her ears with each step he takes. And when she eventually reaches the fair side of this chamber, she finds solid stone bowl. She runs her hand along the wall and walks from one side to the other to discover one area where there's a slight change in stone. She decided there's probably a hidden door there. She searches for a way to open it, feeling around the walls, shining the torch on the floor. She notices another stone that's so slightly outside from all the rocks. She walks to that stone, pushing the rock in line with the others, and the rumbling sound of the rock reveals a door opening up. She walks through that door down a staircase and finds herself faced with a view she never thought to see. In the middle of a desert, a vast forest with the sound of running water in a distant lake. She can hear sounds of birds. Everything sounds familiar, but not like anything else she's heard before, and she follows that river to the lake. And as she's approaching the lake, she sees some people sat on a post with their back to her, gazing out over that lake. She's unsure who it could be or how long they sat there when she's only just arrived there. She walks to them, and as she approaches, she feels that there is a loving presence. They contain wisdom, knowledge, and she walks over, but they don't turn to look at her. They just carry on gazing the way they are. And she asks who they are and where we are. They say there's not where they think. We are somewhere different. We are here, but not there, they said. She's a little confused. They say they are not where they think, and hold out a hand, turning the palm up, letting their gaze drop to the side. The woman feels a surge to reach out to place her hand in their hand, and very slowly she reaches out and rests her hand on their side. As she does it, their hands connect and also their minds. It's like she's suddenly out in space, zooming out from that place, looking down on a world with Earth-like features. She continues zooming out further into space. She can see a star like a sun in this world and other planets as she zooms further back out into space in high speed. She continues to climb away from that planet, seeing them moving far enough away to see the neighborhood of stars until the sun is speeding away. She's still looking at them with all her focus on the sky, surrounded by millions of other pinpricks of light in the air, until she begins to enter the Earth's atmosphere and finds herself arriving at nighttime, gazing up into the night sky. She entered, recognizing that all these other pyramids in this little area probably resembled that constellation in the sky. She had that realization, so she felt drawn back towards space and time again towards that place, back to the forest. Suddenly, with a slice in her breath, she was aware somehow to Exxon had created this portal to transport people there to different places. They say that she can draw out into the lake because there is a box to be found there. The box that they've been guarding all this time, just waiting for someone to discover this place. As soon as she finds that box, they will be free because They've been waiting year after year, this timeless being watching over this box, waiting for the moment when someone arrives to get this box. She was told she needed to lie back in the water, listen and notice the way the sound travels underwater to pinpoint the location of the box. She requires patience and relaxation. So she entered the water, lay on her back, rested her head back in that warm water, noticing how the sounds change from areas outside the water to her ears. She called her the subtitle, rumbling sound of some bubbles. She could listen to the sounds of some of the creatures in the lake, feeling her heart gently and rhythmically beating as she rests there. While resting, she began to listen to her heartbeat, the way the pulse traveled from the body around the lake. She floated across and almost like using her heartbeat, her ears as a sonar machine. She lay just floating gently across the lake with a heartbeat relaxed, healthy, and rhythmically beating using meditative abilities to focus on such a subtle sound, to begin to notice the difference in the way the sound arrives at the left and the right ears. The water moved her, and she noticed a subtle anomaly in the reflection of the sound to her ears. She knew she floated above the box, and she turned herself over, but her head under the water, and looked down toward the bottom. She called and cried, see whether the table was down there. She knew that she'd have to hold her breath a while and relax for this dive. So she took a few deep breaths, then held her breath and relaxed deeply. She dived down, and time appeared to be going so slow. As she fell deeper to the bottom, the box began to come into view. She could feel the water around her and the way life weaves and moves. She reached the box, opened the table, and found what looked like a giant gold coin in the box. She took the metal swam back to the surface, felt that water run from her face. She broke through the surface, swam back to the shore, and could see that wise being smiling at her and telling her she's found what she was looking for, even though she didn't know that's what she was searching. The gold medal is a representation that will remind her of this adventure. She started her way back to the camper van. She drove back to where she'd seen that van, then excited, taking the coin with her, and sat down to begin meditating, looking over towards those pyramids. Every time her eyes blinked, she saw glimpses of the country garden. After a while, she found herself just in the country garden, gazing to the rose, fully formed as a bee visits it. She holds the coin, standing up, and being aware of what she learned. It was a profound lesson. Just as the sun has set, she goes inside to comfortably relaxes and sleep. This was the last page of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed listening my voice and the book sounds. And please let me know if you would like to listen to another chapter from this book. Now I want you to totally calm down and thinking about your own adventure, to dream about it. I will just stay here waiting for you when you wake up. Have a good sleep. Good night.